get it going.
The Mental Brew Podcast. We have the name, huh?
Yep, we got the name now. Why do we call it Mental Brew Podcast?
I mean, I think we're just... Obviously, this is a mindset podcast.
Yeah.
Thoroughly, but I think there's way too many avenues for us to get too specific with the name.
Yeah.
Kind of allowed us to get creative, too.
And we like coffee, brew.
Right. This is going to be our Sunday ritual.
Yeah,
Sunday
ritual. Steam room, maybe a little walk, some cardio.
Active recovery.
Some
coffee.
And some coffee and a podcast.
Catch up on our thoughts.
Yes, sir. Catch up on the week, what we're thinking about, have a good conversation.
Yeah.
Allow you guys to tune in.
How's monk mode been for you?
It's been great.
Yeah,
been really good. I like it. Been on the money, so my monk mode is...
Yeah, what were your rules?
Yeah, my monk mode rules were no phone hour before bed, no phone first hour of the day, meditate 10 minutes every single day, no phone on my desk, and then exercise daily. So I've been on the money with the meditation, the phone, exercise daily pretty much. I think I missed like 1 or 2 days.
You haven't done no phone in the morning?
No, I've been doing that.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's been good.
And you like it?
Yeah, it's been super helpful. You don't like it?
No, me and Alex are gonna make a video today.
About why you don't like monk mode?
Yeah.
Why?
Because.
What are your monk mode rules? So it's not that
okay. So
then let's explain what monk mode is, why we're doing it, shit like that.
Mine was 10 minutes of meditation a day. Mm-hmm. Morning routine by 7 a.m. Mm-hmm. No phone before 9:30 a.m.
No phone at all?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Workout daily, mm-hmm. and 20 minutes outside per day. Mm-hmm. I haven't been doing that.
The outside?
To be completely honest.
I mean, that's a tough one to stick when it's fucking 0 degrees.
It's freezing. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Monk mode, I kind of found out. Mm-hmm. The no phone in the morning mm-hmm. has been money. That's been like my favorite thing about it.
That's amazing.
It's just awesome. as far as recovery, like having by 7 a.m. to do my routine, mm-hmm. when sometimes I haven't been really sticking to waking up at like 5:30 every morning now mm-hmm. because of my training. Yeah. So like if I'm training and I feel like some mornings I'll wake up and I play it by ear where I'm like I'm really tired. Yeah. I should probably get an extra hour of sleep. Mm-hmm. It kind of fucks me with my morning routine because I have to rush everything. Mm-hmm. Working out daily is fine. It's something I do already, so it's not really a monk mode thing. Yeah. The only thing that I really got out of it was like how productive I could be just not touching my phone and like how freeing it feels. Yeah, that's been a big thing for me. And the meditation. Yeah, see, I've been doing, do you do guided meditations? Not really. I just kind of sit. Like sometimes I'll just like if I had a really like busy day, like I'll just kind of sit and just let the whole day just kind of run through my head. Because obviously the whole day goes and you're thinking about a lot of shit. So it's like that time is just like consolidate all my thoughts, just kind of let everything that I was thinking about just come and go and then kind of have a clear mind. And then sometimes I'll just focus on my breath or like, so it all kind of depends on the day. But just like 10 minutes of just like, and usually I've been pushing to like 15, 20, just sitting there in complete silence, quiet, and just fucking think. Solitude. Yeah, and the phone thing's been really big. Just like you said, like you'd be so fucking productive when you don't mm-hmm. have your phone in and around you. And the first hour of the day, like if every time you wake up, like this is why we talked about it, why we did it, was just like if you're always looking at other people's shit, like, and we're trying to be like content creators and like pushing shit and creating shit, and it's like if we're consuming everything the first part of the day, it doesn't allow us to be like creative and stuff. It's like we start our day like reacting. Yeah, it sets you up for the reacting, not the like creation mode. Right. Yeah. Let's talk about why we did monk mode and what it means. Like. Yeah. So basically, it's a sprint focus. Yeah. So we decided to do it 2 months on, 1 month off mm-hmm. for the whole year, mm-hmm. which I'll probably change. Yeah. Well, we'll adjust like what we use in the monk mode requirements. And that's the one thing I haven't loved about it. And I think I'm in a weird phase with it because mm-hmm. I think not this monk mode, but the next one we do mm-hmm. will be super beneficial because we'll be like actively trying to run everything. Like it's gonna be busy. Yeah. Now it's kind of like I don't have a massive project to work on.
Yeah.
So I don't have something daily. Even
you,
next
like,
year
focus
when I
on.
want to write the book,
Yeah.
I'll have
You'll have something. Yeah. Like
that's my
hour and a
project for
half
monk
every day.
mode.
Yeah.
Like I just have one thing to focus on.
Yeah.
I feel like I have too many pots on the stove to
Yeah, I
really
do too.
block in on one.
Yeah.
And it's basically just a period of high productivity.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna cut out all distractions because, and I think what a lot of people don't understand about productivity is it's not about doing more, it's about
doing less.
having less distractions.
Yeah.
The more you can cut out, the more productive you're gonna be. It's not, I need to put more on my plate.
Yeah.
You need to cut out the bullshit. And I was telling Alex this the other day. One of the biggest reason why I don't like it is because for some reason the way my brain works, I had to come up with like, and the monk mode was the perfect excuse to be like, I'm gonna try something that I should have been doing before, like way before this, because I committed to. That was another thing for monk mode was 4 reels a week and 3 to 4 reels a week, and like I think it was 1 or 2 TikToks a day.
Yeah.
And I just needed, for some reason, to put that sprint focus in play to be able to execute on that. And then about 2 weeks in when I did that, I was like, I should have been doing this all along.
Yeah.
Like, there's no reason for me to be making an excuse
To not do it.
or like I'm only gonna be able to produce this volume in my 2-month monk mode.
Yeah.
Like it should be the way I live my life.
But it was good to get you started on that, and
100%.
then now it'll just be like,
Yeah.
I think
It's good for a lot of overthinkers.
like the way that you organize your monk mode, like you said, like you don't have any like real big focus. It's just like it's been good because like for the like no phone before 9:30, that'll be perfect for you to carry over to the next one.
100%.
And you'll like try different things. Like for me, obviously I had like you said, like I had too many pots on the stove. Like PDC, the finishing course. I got to prepare my presentation. It's so I have so many different things I'm trying to focus on.
Yeah.
So hopefully, like, and our next monk mode will be what, May 1st to July 1st.
We'll have April off.
Yeah, April
May,
off.
yeah.
Yeah. So like, it's just all trial and error. Like, the first one's obviously not going to be the best, but it taught us things that we can carry over to the next thing, and then just kind of started to build habits that we carry over into every other one.
Now, when do you just focus on one thing? That's my problem. Because it's
Yeah.
like next year, and I say this now, and it's as easy as like when I used to look on the bear crawl, like when I wasn't training for it, but like I wanted to do it. It was like I'm just gonna have the bear crawl to do.
Yeah.
And now I have 12 things
Yeah.
in the stove.
Yeah.
And next year it's gonna be, I'm just gonna write my book, and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna worry about anything else. But
Yeah.
I know when I get there, that's gonna be the big thing.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have my hand in 10 other things. Like,
Yeah.
is there ever gonna be a time where you just have one project to focus on?
Yeah.
I think that's like, and I don't know, but like what was the dude's name that? It was his idea. I don't know his name. I can't pronounce it.
His idea for what?
YouTube, the monk mode guy, the one that I watched.
Iman?
Iman.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like he's at the point where he makes so much money. It's like he has to dial in on just one area.
Yeah.
I don't know though, because I'm not there.
Yeah. But
I've
I
never
mean,
been
I
at
feel
that
like
level.
it's an opportunity cost thing. So it's like focusing on one thing's 100% better. But it's like, and that was, I feel like I did a good job of just focusing on one thing for like the first 2 years. And I feel like now it's like, all right, there's a lot of things, and then I'm going to consolidate all of that into focusing on one thing. And then like also being able to hire people, you can take some of that stuff off your plate. Like you said, like productivity is more about doing less than doing more. So it's
Yeah.
like the more you can take off your plate, the more you can focus on the shit that matters. And it's always about just keeping the main thing. Like what's the one thing that you need, like your rocks, like what's the most important shit that you need to get done? Everything else can be built off of that.
Yeah. I feel like that's also part of the problem too. Is like my biggest goal right now is physical. It's not like deep work.
Yeah.
It is deep work, but it's like,
No, it's just physical.
not.
Yeah. It's just training for you.
yeah. So it's like,
It's very different. Like your monk mode is a lot different and weirder. Like, and then once that's done and everything you're doing is more mental and like sit down work and deep work and
providing
creative.
value.
Yeah.
Like creating a substance or structure to provide. Yeah,
It changes
100%.
things a lot.
I'm excited about that though, because
When you're done the bear crawl.
Well, 100%.
Yeah.
Because that's another thing too. Is like, I think about when I'm training. It's like, it sucks now, but there is a time in like the near future that I'm going to be able to look back and be like, I never have to do one fucking bear crawl again if I don't want to. So it's like, whatever. But I'm more excited about like currently having Alex now, like on a schedule with my content and stuff. Because now it's less for me to worry about. Because before it was like, okay, I'm going to wake up. But the main reason I wanted to wake up at 3 a.m., sometimes 4 a.m., was to get my filming out of the way, use that creative hours when my body's well rested to produce content or to make content, and then spend the rest of my days training or editing. But now that's like an extra 3 hours in the morning where it's like, I don't really have to worry about my content because I'm gonna film it, but I have Alex's brain too. I don't really have to be as the whole show, and I can still get things done. And now I can really narrow my focus. Like I brushed that off my plate, which is totally worth the money, just to, because content creation is difficult when you have to do both. And I don't think people understand that. And I'm lucky that I'm
doing that for like 2
able to
years.
outsource it so early. It's only been like 7 months. But I think you need
that period by yourself.
You need the period, And I think
regardless of what it is, like whether it's content creation, business, you gotta know the whole part, so Alex is good because you've done it. So it's like that he possesses the skills that you need. And same thing for business. Like you can't just like be a trainer for a week and then go and hire a good trainer because you don't know what a quality trainer represents. You haven't been in the trenches enough.
You're still learning your own show. You have to be far enough ahead that you can look at somebody else and be like, okay, they have the right stuff, the right recipe. So but aside from monk mode, the toughest thing for me has been allowing that. So it's the sprint focus, but like after the focus for the day closes, being like, okay, I'm done. I'm checking off because I was 1 hour before bed or 9:30 p.m. I chose to stay off my phone. It was like, and I've been kind of bringing that back a little bit. Like I'll stop training people at 8 o'clock, and then once I get home and eat, my phone will go away. But I can't turn off. Like it'll be sometimes like 9:30 at night, and I'm like, I'm going, like I'm laying in bed, and I'm like, I have the best idea. I have to go work on this. I have to go write it down. Like I've been trying so hard to watch movies, and I've been wanting to post this on my Netflix, my Instagram story, like give me some movie recommendations, so I can have like people hold me accountable to give me a movie, and then be like, oh, let me know what you think. I can't sit still during a movie. I can't tune out from my work, and I think it's honestly hurting my work. It's hurting my work. I just don't know how to shut my mind off. Maybe I need to switch my schedule and start to do more heavy loaded work at the end of the day. Maybe I'm just a night person.
I don't know.
Well, that's what I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of my like cognitively demanding tasks early in the morning, but my brain is like hyperactive at night. And I don't know if I'm maybe not loading my plate enough or.
Well, maybe you just switch your schedule. Like instead of getting up at 4 a.m., you get up at 7 or 6. Do your stuff, and then you save your creative work for at night. If that's when, because everyone's different. Everyone's circadian rhythm's different. Like some people are better at night, but I feel like you are good in the morning. But like
that's the thing, I'm good in the morning, but my brain is super active at night.
So you just gotta, or you do the meditation at night, like I was talking about.
I tried doing that. I tried switching like reading and all that, like journaling and stuff at night.
Do you have like a nightly routine, or do you have a morning routine?
Not really. Not as strict as the morning.
For that, I would say create a night routine where you journal. Because like for you, like you just got to get shit out of your head. Once it's out of your head, then your mind will be more calm. So it's like in that creative process, write down all your content ideas. Start working on, like you work on your book at that time. Like then you meditate at night, and then like you just take everything out of your brain. Then you have nothing else to think about.
I need something to exhaust my brain at the end of the day. Where when I hit the sheets, it's like we're tuned out. We're zoned out. But for some reason, I don't know what it is. I'm just a very like I visualize a ton, especially like anywhere I drive. I'm always visualizing. When I wake up first thing in the morning, if I put my earphones in and listen to music, always visualizing. At night when I'm in bed, my mind is like I'm bear crawling across the Brooklyn Bridge. Like I'm thinking about everybody around me, what they're saying, or like what my life's gonna look like in 5 years. Or 6 months from now. Like I don't know if that's just me. I don't know if you have the same thing, but there's never a moment in my day where if I'm just sitting there looking at, like my brain is never not working. So I'm like, okay, do I lean into the curse of like, this is just gonna help me be just extremely, this is the The Curse of a High Performer.
Yeah.
I'm just always on go. Or is there something wrong with me?
No, it's definitely normal.
Nuts?
But like, I would just find a way to more optimally utilize it.
Yeah.
That's all I would say.
Maybe I'm watching the wrong movies.
Well, I don't know. It
Not
has
getting
nothing to do
hooked.
with that shit, but just like organizing your thoughts better, like getting it out of your head better, like all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You just gotta tap into it. Maybe you're like that for 2-3 years. You tap into it, and then you get to a point where you're like, oh, I feel like I can chill. You know?
Yeah, I think that's part of it too. Is like I don't think I'm really.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be satisfied.
Never.
But I think I'm just extremely dissatisfied with the position I'm in right now, where everything's moving in the right direction, but I'm like, it's moving slow because it's just starting.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of variables. Like, I'm not up here yet full time.
Yeah.
I obviously can't make shit out of water. Like I can't be making results of stuff that doesn't really exist yet. Like we have a lot to do behind the scenes with no results. So it's like, it's just, I'm not exactly where I want to be. And I think that's a lot of it too, where it's like, I can't even have like, okay, I just have to buy into the patience. Like, I want to fucking break through this door, but I can't because there's
just too many things
time.
outside of your control and time. Yeah.
I think I was listening to a podcast last night, and you sent it to me, and it was interesting to think about with Alex Hormozy when he said his game of life analogy, and I can't help but think about it with especially what we just talked about, and like not being able to break through the barriers of like, and so many things out of your control, but him relating life to like, we're just playing with borrowed
chips. Yeah.
Borrowed chips.
Yeah.
What do you think? I want to hear your thoughts on that because I feel like you're very like, what do they call it? Nihilism. I feel like you're more of that route. You're like very detached. It's just like you treat it like you start to see business now as a game, and like relationships as a game that you're just playing on borrowed time and borrowed money. And I feel like that's a good switch. I feel like that's a good perspective people could gain a lot from, where it's like, I don't have to bring my emotions into everything. Like, yeah, I should have a purpose and a reason for why I do what I do. Yeah. But at the end of the day, no one's gonna remember my emotions and.
Yeah, I mean, I think like his analogy was just like, in terms of like money and everything. It's like, we play this whole game, and at the end of the day, like, when the game's over, like, nothing happens. Like, all the money you gained, all the cars you had, all the fucking fame you had, like, none of it matters. So, I mean, like, in terms of that, like, in terms of, like, a lot of the Stoics talk about is, like, memento mori, which is, like, contemplate your death daily, which is, like, something that I've done. A lot of people think it's weird, but it's, like, when you think about it, it's, like, and especially with, like, money and stuff, is, like, money's just a tool. So it's, like, don't get emotionally attached to it. Like, it's not going to make you happy. It's not going to... It definitely can help, but it's just simply a tool. Like everything that we do, every accomplishment that we have, everything that goes bad, everything that goes good, is just like, it's all just temporary. So it's like every opinion that people have about you, it's like, it's all temporary. So it's like, it's kind of freeing because like people take everything too seriously, and it's like, oh my God, this is just like so serious. Like this bad thing happened, like, oh, my life's over. And it's like, it really doesn't matter.
I feel like a lot more people have that emotional attachment to money. And I feel like that's such a beautiful perspective to have financially, because that's the key.
As in, like, it doesn't matter, or it does matter?
What do you mean?
Like, people have that emotional attachment to money, as in, like, it's so important.
Yeah,
it is important, but
it is important, but my fascination with people who are successful is their ability to look at society as a whole and a norm, and do something completely opposite, or have a completely different perspective. And it just seems to be that everybody that has that perspective on money as a tool and a game ends up being successful. And everybody, I shouldn't say everybody, I'm sure there's a lot of wealthy people that have a different perspective on money, because it is a serious matter, and I think you can understand that it is a serious matter. But don't understand that by having such a close attachment to something that in the end doesn't really matter, it's hard to really scale it. Like, sure, you can build wealth, right? Like, you could be very cautious with your money and not have that like fuck you money type of approach where it's like, we're just playing chips on a table, and you know, if I lose 100 million, I lose 100 million.
Yeah.
Not a lot of people are like that, and you could definitely build wealth being scared, but you're never going to build like that fuck you money without that attitude. Where now we talk about 1 foot in the door and 1 foot out the door. Again, I want that. I don't want I don't want to be like, okay, I want to build my wealth the safe way.
Yeah.
Like if there's more, I want to have it.
Yeah.
And it could run me into the ground, but whatever.
I mean, I think the interesting thing that, and it sounds like weird, but like the interesting thing that I've discovered with money is like, at first I was like you said, like so attached to it, like I got to save all my money and like all this shit. And it's like end of the day that I come to the realization, like even when I am extremely wealthy, like the money is not going to make a difference in my life.
It should.
So it's like, once you get to that point, like it'll help me do a lot of things that I want to do. But at the end of the day, it's like, once I get past a certain amount of money, so it's like, oh, I want to be a millionaire, I want to be a millionaire, I want to make 100 million. After a certain point, like the money's not going to change your life. It's like you can have $1 billion, your life's not going to be different than if you have like 10, 20 million. So it's like, if you don't become that attached to it, where it's like you're only chasing that, and it's like that's your only goal. It's like it's tough to take the risk that you want to take and all this kind of shit because you're so attached to it. Like, oh, I need to get to this point. I need to get to this point. When you realize it doesn't matter, it just becomes like anything else, and it's like easier to attract it in a way. I feel like because you don't become so attached to, especially in the short term, like, oh, I lost a little bit of money or I did this, and it's like it's all just a game anyways. But like I feel like that's helped me a little bit. I mean, there's a lot of different ways that I look at money, but I feel like that's one that kind of like weird, especially at my point, even not having like, oh, I can just do whatever the fuck I want money, but like just realizing the money's really not that. It helps. It's a big deal. But it's like, after a certain point, it's not going to do anything for you. Like, money's not going to make you happy. It's not going to do all this kind of shit. It's going to allow you to do a lot of things, help a lot of people, but at the end of the day, like, it's not yours anyways. When you die, it's gone. Yeah.
The fear, I think that perspective just really helps you detach from the fear of losing it.
Exactly.
Which
helps
you.
The Stoics talk a lot about, too, is like, don't get attached to your possessions and things because they can be gone like that.
Are you big on stoicism or
no? Yeah. Like the people that you have in your life could be gone in a moment. The car that you have could be the house you could have.
Yeah.
The money you have, it can all be gone. So it's like you can't attach yourself to that kind of shit.
I read a quote the other day. It wasn't a quote. I might have listened to it. I forget what it was. But it really put it into perspective, and it put life into perspective and kind of our greed into perspective and just gratitude. And it said, if you woke up this morning, obviously you're lucky. I write that in my journal every day. I write, I'm lucky for another chance to play the game.
Yeah.
But it said, if you woke up this morning, you're luckier than probably, I think, however X amount of people die. You were lucky enough to wake up today. Now consider those same odds. You live in a house with 5 people. Everybody in your house woke up today. Now 5 people just beat those odds.
Yeah.
Now you have an extended family. Your whole extended family is alive. That's 40 people that just beat all of those odds.
Yeah.
Now your friends, everybody in your life just beat the odds of being alive today.
Yeah.
Or, having a chance to play the game again.
Yeah.
What do you have to complain about?
Exactly.
And it's like, that's mind-boggling because it's like, how many people do we know in our life that we love and care about? And they're all still here.
Yeah.
Which not a lot of people can say.
Yeah.
There's so many people that lose people.
Anything could happen like tomorrow.
Yeah.
So it's like that is the other big thing too, is like people's perspective is so small. It's like these little things can bother them so easily. It's like when you look at it on the grand scale like that, like we just get to play the game another day. Like something's gonna happen. It could be tomorrow. It could be next week. Someone could die. Like you could die. Like anything could happen. So it's like when you look at, that's why I feel like the death thing has been so big for me. Is like I could die tomorrow. It's like why the fuck am I gonna sit here and be ungrateful for today, pissed off today, like all this kind of shit. Like anything could end at any moment. So it's like when you have the big perspective on life like that, it helps you just enjoy like the day-to-day shit.
Why do you think people are so hesitant to accept the reality?
I feel like they just don't want to face that reality. I feel like it brings too much responsibility and stuff because like that's what I feel like it is. I feel like it's too much responsibility that they realize like I should be happy today and like I should do this, but it's like they want to have it out. Like they want to be able to complain. They want to be able to like be pissed off and like all this kind of shit. So I feel like it's too much responsibility for them to bear to realize like I have no reason to not be happy.
Yeah. It's also certain level of accountability.
Exactly.
It's on me today.
Yeah.
Whatever. If I live, right? You're alive, but are you living?
Yeah.
If I have to choose to live today, I have to keep showing up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's I have the tattoo I have right here is like, man should not fear death. It's like he should fear like never beginning to live. Mm-hmm. It's like that's powerful.
Being alive and living are two different things.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you shouldn't be afraid of death. You should be afraid of not living. Because death is going to happen.
Yeah, I think about that a lot, and I think that's where a lot of people could benefit, is just understanding, aside from results, just choosing to live every day, not be alive and go through the motions. Like choosing to live, even if you're failing, is like something to really hang your hat on and be proud of.
Because at the end of the day, when you're on your deathbed, if you didn't try shit you didn't want to do, like you're gonna regret that shit.
Yeah.
It's like you might as well, even if you fail, you get to say you tried. You took a shot at it.
Is there anything you regret at this point in your life?
Nah, not yet.
No, you don't. No,
not really.
I think about that a lot, and
I've had that question asked to me a good amount in the last. Like there's nothing that I really at this point regret.
Yeah.
But obviously that'll all change. But
I think we're too soon for regret.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think regret kicks in when it's like it's too late. I can't do that anymore. I think there's nothing in life that we can't do yet, where it's like that door's closed.
Not enough time has passed yet for us to look back and regret it.
Right. Maybe. See, I don't know though, because you've had a good run. I think that possibly the only thing that you might possibly look back on or would have looked back on was the risk you took when you left school, like leaving college to start your training business. I think you've already done enough to. That would never be a regret, even if like your business closed tomorrow.
Exactly.
I fucking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because I made that decision. And I'm glad that I made that decision, even if it didn't work out, even if I went to zero. Like, I'm glad that I stuck to my guns and made that decision. Yeah. And it's like I don't want to play it safe anyway. So why would I regret playing it safe? Like, even if it didn't work out, I would regret playing it safe over not playing it safe.
Sorry, I'm not laughing at you. Alex sent me a. We have our first call in, but Alex just sent me a TMZ Sports article. Mexican soccer brutal melee between fans at least 2600.
I want you guys to have links.
Wait, we can look. Sorry, I just got it popped up on the corner of my screen, and I was like, okay. No, you're good. But back to what you were saying, yeah. You have to take the risk. There was no choice. And my one thing I struggle with a lot is not struggle with, but something that really baffles my mind. I've been pondering on it for a while. Is, and I wonder if you've thought about this with your training or even your content, really your content, because you're growing yourself. And with the bear crawl, I'm always on social media trying to get people to push their limits. And as a creator, you want to inspire. You want other people to take the same action that you're taking and see that they can make their life what they want it to be. Now, people follow you to become inspired, but a lot of them will never really act on the inspiration. And I'm going to bear crawl 31 miles because I want to one, become somebody I'm proud of, and somebody that I really, really admire. But I also want people to understand that they can do outlandish shit with no prior requirement. But the one thing that I'm going to hang my hat on at the end of the day is that nobody will ever do what I'm doing. So it's like, I'm most proud of doing something nobody's ever done.
But at the same time,
I want people to understand that and inspire them. So it kind of like contradicts. Where I almost feel like with my content it gets misconstrued. Where not misconstrued, but like I'm telling people to chase their dreams, but I'm chasing my dreams and hope that one, like at the end of my life, I could be like, I was the only person that ever did this.
I mean, by the time you get to the end of your life, hopefully someone's done it.
Right. But
But you're doing something that nobody's done to this point.
To this
And
point.
it's like the 4-minute mile thing. Like the first dude that did it, he was the first person to ever do it. But because he did it, other people realized that they could do crazy shit.
Yeah.
So it's like by you doing that, you will set in motion that. So it's
Right.
like double-edged sword, I guess.
Yeah, I guess more of what I mean is just that it seems like the one goal that we have as creators never really gets accomplished. Because we would only be as important as we want to be with the influence as long as other people don't have that same influence. Make
I
sense?
guess.
Because we would say if everybody had 100,000 followers on Instagram and had major influence,
Yeah.
it wouldn't much matter. But we strive and we work so hard daily to have that influence, to try and inspire other people, obviously, because that's what we want to do.
Yeah.
We want other people to really push themselves. But if our content really hit, we wouldn't have our platforms.
Yeah. I mean,
It'd be so normal. It's weird.
It's just human
Yeah.
life in general. Like not everyone's gonna do that. It is what it is.
Yeah.
But like, you just hope you can impact enough people. But that's the thing. That not everyone has to or even wants to have that influence. But it's
No,
gonna push them in
that's a good
some
point.
certain area of their life. Like maybe they want to be the best teacher in the world,
Yeah.
and you inspire them to like
That's a good point.
challenge themselves more. Or like they want to be the best cop or like whatever. Like,
Yeah,
so it's
that's a
like
good point.
everyone's levels are just different. You know what I'm saying? So it's like
Yeah.
it's just inspiring them to get to their best self.
Right.
And exploring that and challenging themselves, even if it's just a little bit.
Yeah, that's interesting that you bring that up because that's one thing another thing I think about too is obviously we strive very big, and that's not a knock at like say you're a school teacher and you want to be the best school
Yeah,
teacher.
nothing wrong with
That
it.
doesn't fill my bucket, but that might fill someone's
Exactly.
bucket. And do you think everyone has a different level of like internal voice? Do you think everyone has that internal voice?
Internal
Do you
voice
think-
for what?
Striving to be better, pushing themselves daily, trying to be the best
I think
person
everyone
they can
has
be.
that voice because I feel like it's natural human tendency to try to move and progress forward. Like if you sit still and become the same person, like I feel like that's just not natural.
Yeah, you
Like,
wanna
and that
stick
just
with the
doesn't make
tribe.
people happy. So it's like everyone has stuff that they want to get better at. Doesn't matter what it is. Like you said, like for us, it's like big shit. Like try to run big businesses and like help a lot of people and like grow and influence. Some people, it's to be the best school teacher, but like everyone has something that they want to get better at. Maybe they want to be in the best shape or whatever it is, right? They
Yeah.
want to be the best mechanic in the world. Like they have something that's itching at them, and it's just whether they're going to listen to that voice and try to get better. So I feel like everyone has it. It's just to different capacities and for different things. And I feel like if everyone can realize that and just try to get better at it, that's where they're going to find happiness and enjoyment. 'Cause
Yeah.
when you have that voice and you're just not doing it, that's when there's a conflict, and that's when you're not going to be happy. Because you know you want to do something, but you're not doing it, and you know you could be something, but you're not doing it. So it's like it creates a gap. I feel like that's why a lot of people have self-confidence issues too, stuff like that.
I don't think a lot of people follow their gut.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people.
And it comes back to like what we talked about last time is like the opinion thing and like not fitting into the tribe and like so that's a big part of not going for that.
Well, yeah, it's that, but it's also human nature to fit in.
Yeah, the whole fit into the tribe thing.
Yeah.
It's a natural human.
But I've always had a strong inclination of like the direction I should be heading. And even when I wasn't really doing the things that felt true to me,
Yeah.
I knew it.
Yeah. Because like we
didn't
came
listen
from
to it, but I knew
somewhat like because when I was in college, I was just like, yo, go, I'm gonna do this. And it's like you were still in that phase where it's like you knew who you could have been, but you weren't doing it. So it's like for other people, I feel like you can speak on that more. It's like you had that, like you felt like you had that voice in your head, right?
I
It's like
definitely had it.
Yeah. So it's like, do you feel like that created unhappiness, or like where were you at mentally when you were hearing that voice but you weren't doing anything?
I was completely absent, I think. And that's why I asked the question, is because I think everybody has that voice, but I think some of us are just better at suppressing it.
Yeah.
But I think the ones like the some of us who are better at suppressing it actually have a massive amount of potential. Because if you're strong enough to kind of suppress that voice and fall into a slump of like 3-4 years of just inaction,
Yeah.
you're going to be strong enough when you start to feed into that voice. It's wildfire. I just always had that voice. I just didn't listen to it.
Yeah.
And I don't know why I didn't listen to it. And I think it was a majority of one, I didn't believe in myself. And I knew that it would be a lot. It was a lot of work. I knew it would be a lot of work. And it was easier to just not do the work than try and admit to myself that if I do the work, it might be hard. And that's where I really love the perspective now of there's no, it's not like X amount of work and you'll be good. Like, once you turn your life around, nobody's telling you how fast or slow you can go.
Yeah.
As long as you're headed in the right direction,
Exactly.
that's what matters. And I wish I knew that back then, because I felt like every day I didn't do something, it was just a higher mountain I had to climb to become happy. Where all it was breaking that pattern the next day, and I would have been much happier.
I feel like people look at, like, whether it's a diet or building a business or whatever it is, they feel like it's like all or nothing. Where it's like, oh, I want to lose weight, like, oh, I got to go through this whole thing and like get this crazy diet, and it's like, no, just like take one small step.
Yeah.
Like for you, it could have just been like, yo, I'm just gonna go for a walk.
Yeah.
And just take one small step, and that'll get you going in the right direction. But I feel like people don't start because they feel like they have to do everything all at once. It's like, if you want to be the best trainer in the world or get a great diet, it's like just literally just start, make one small adjustment. Maybe you're gonna stop drinking soda and you're gonna drink water every day.
Yeah.
Just do that, and then you'll be inspired to take the next step. But it's not all or nothing. It's just literally just start and start moving in the right direction.
It's hard. It's hard to make the decision.
That's the biggest thing. Once you make the decision, and that's why people don't, is because they know when they make the decision, they're either it's gonna be a lot of work, or they're gonna have to live with that regret, and they don't want to do that.
Yeah, I did that with baseball, and it was interesting to be so closely removed from it and be able to unpack it all, where most people, I feel, unpack things they regret, and that's definitely one thing I do regret. Not really regret, because there's always a way to turn regret around and make it better. But most people get to the end of their life and look back, I feel. I was able to look back
Before
about like 2-3 years and be like, okay, I regret that, and I'm going to make sure that feeling never happens again. And why I'm so attached to helping other people is because it was very difficult for me to look back. And while I was on top of the mountain looking down, I still wasn't happy with what happened. And it was just baseball. Like, the school area of my life ended up being like something that didn't much matter anyways, because I wasn't going to use my degrees and things like that. But baseball was something that ever since I was like 3-4 years old was my life. It was one of those things that taught me how to work hard. And with my parents being divorced, I fell back on that. Like, when I would go to my dad's house on weekends and I didn't hang out with my friends, like that was my time to get better. And that's when I really appreciated how to work hard. And then I got to college and kind of was trying to fit in and fell behind in baseball and kind of met my match. I was always the best. And then when I got to college, it was my next challenge, and I just mentally wasn't ready for that challenge to be like, now I have to work even harder. And instead of admitting to myself that I needed to work even harder and be okay with failing and maybe not getting to where I wanted to go, I was just like, I don't care about baseball. I don't love it. And I convinced myself of that. And that's one of my biggest regrets, is looking back now and being like, fuck, I wish I was just real and honest with myself and other people, that I cared about it and it didn't matter how good I was at it. I just probably would have been a lot better if I admitted that I gave a shit about it. But yeah, I think people regret, but people just have to make the decision and understand that the decision is the first step, and then how fast or slow you go after that don't matter.
All right, that should about do it. Do you guys have anything else to wrap up with?
No.
If not,
We're all set.
Appreciate y'all for watching.
Yep.
Till the next time.
listening too. You guys said that last time. There's gonna be people listening.
They could be watching
Watch
or
on
listening.
YouTube.
Exactly.
Appreciate it.
Listen
YouTube,
on
Spotify,
Spotify,
podcast, whatever.
You can't neglect your audience.
Absolutely.
Yo, review the podcast. Leave us a rating. Not asking for 5 stars, but if you thought it was 5 stars worthy, leave a review.
Yeah, if you're
It
watching on
helps.
YouTube, leave a comment. Let us know what you want us to talk about, cover.
Like, subscribe.
Yes, sir.
He's new to the YouTube thing. Other than that, we should be good.
Yep.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
Good work, fellas.